right, I'm here with DaTechGuy.
Hello, very nice to see you again.
I know. Last time I saw you was at CPAC.
CPAC, and you were kind enough to sit for an interview with me, so I'll stand for an interview with you.
Why are you here today?
Well, decided that I wanted to cover this event. I wanted to see how Americans for Prosperity would come out, what kind of a crowd we would get. I've been here since early morning, and there's a very big contrast that I've noticed right away. Over at the Supreme Court area, you had your Planned Parenthoods, you had your NARALs, you had your SEIUs over there. But you had no members of Congress, no politicians willing to speak. Today we've had not only Paul Ryan, and we'll have Michelle Bachmann, but we have people running for office willing to speak. That tells you more about Obamacare than anything else. The fact that our side is willing to say, hey, we oppose it, while the other side is running away from it.
Absolutely. That was a tough crowd this morning. They were very aggressive, weren't they?
Oh, they were a bit aggressive, but you know, that's what they're trained for. They're there to try, they're there to kind of squash, and you'll notice another difference with that crowd that they had this morning. An awful lot of prepared signs. Now, there's a few prepared signs here, but there's an awful lot of homemade signs and a lot of nice little Breitbart signs, which I really got a kick out of, and I'm sure Andrew would have too.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, I mean, they're tough until they're challenged. And once you challenge them, it becomes very difficult for them because, you know, unless they have backup, where are they?
What is so bad about Obamacare?
Well, where do I begin? Obviously, as a Catholic, I hate the mandates against the church, which is an attack on the First Amendment, which says freedom of religion, not freedom of worship, meaning only a church, but of religion, the religious mission. And for the Catholic Church, for example, you had the mission to educate, the Catholic colleges, the mission to heal, the Catholic hospitals and so forth. In addition to that, the mandate takes away freedom, and it's expensive. When you have a bill where the taxes begin a couple of years before the actual coverage begins just to make it look good, you know you have something phony. And government one-size health care is never good. And if you have a government that can make the decision on whether or not you're turned off or not, I mean, that's over. My aunt just turned 91. When I got home from CPAC, she was very sick. We had to take her to the hospital. She was able to recover, and now she's back living at her home. Now, under Obamacare, maybe they would have just given her an aspirin. Oh, she's 90. She's going to turn 91. Let her go. I mean, once you have other people deciding which lives are worthy to live or die, it's all over.
What's that called?
I mean, that's called genocide, in my opinion. I mean, you don't want to give a government too much strength. And I want to say this to the liberals who might be listening. Remember, if you give a government too much strength, someday somebody you don't like, someday a conservative might be in charge. Do you trust a conservative making your life and death decisions for your family? If you don't trust, you may like Obamacare, you may like Obama, but someday conservatives will be in charge. Do you want to take that risk? Think about that before you support this bill.